White House Correspondents Dinner happened a couple weeks ago, and many people had many thoughts about it. The Yuke has had an annual dinner since 1921 to give out awards and raise funds, and nobody really cares about that stuff. But in 1983, the event began featuring comedians, and that made it cool. I wanted to make a quick video ranking the comedy sets at these dinners, then I realized that there are way too many of these, and several are in a language I don't understand called Boomer. The older references just kind of go over my little Gen Z head. So I'm sticking with Correspondents Dinners in this millennium, which leaves 21 performances. 2 years didn't have a dinner, and 2 didn't have comedians perform. My criteria is the savageness of the roasts. I also want clever political jokes. A good comedian can capture the mood of the country and poke fun at touchy subjects without bumming everyone out. Lastly, I'll look at overall presentation, delivery, and format. Remember, this is all my opinion, and it's just for fun. Alright, let's begin. At the bottom is Craig Ferguson. I'm sorry, I like Craig Ferguson, but this was just half-assed. The jokes were too wordy, and he meandered around to random topics. There's a clever reference to the reporting on WMDs, but aside from that, it just wasn't very funny. You could argue that the historian from 2019 was funnier. He barely joked about the Bush administration, but according to Wikipedia, President Bush couldn't understand his accent. That's hilarious. So I guess roast wouldn't have even mattered. Number 20, Joel McHale. This was by all accounts a fine set, just forgettable. He took a lot of shots at politicians and the media, but the punchlines were pretty predictable. His delivery also seemed uncomfortable. There were some jabs about Guantanamo Bay and healthcare.gov, but he didn't really roast Obama for things that normal people cared about. 19, Rich Little, 2007. Maybe it's unfair to put Joel McHale below this one, because this was a bomb. But I will say, it was interesting. It was very different from the typical format. Comedy from a bygone era. Long setups to jokes, and lots of impressions. There was nothing really controversial. It was probably in response to Colbert from the previous year. More on that later. Next up, Larry Wilmore. Like Joel McHale, Larry had a lot of harsh jokes, but they weren't that clever. It was very formulaic for a Correspondents Dinner set. After a certain point, these things all started to have the same joke premises about C-SPAN, the Washington Hilton, and when Obama was in office, it was about his whitening hair. Your hair's so white, it does insert white people shit. The delivery also felt kind of mean, but he did give a nice send-off to Obama. And he said the N-word. That was pretty wild. 17 is Cedric the Entertainer. This was a comedy set, not a roast. He joked about DC and people in politics, not about the politics itself. There's a lot of cute jokes about the warmongers in the Bush administration. It was funny, but I just wanted more savagery, like the warmongers in the Bush administration. 16, Jay Leno, 2010. This is one of 3 Leno sets I watched. He actually performed a record 4 times, and this was not the best. He has a unique style of doing jokes mixed with cutaway gags, and by 2010 I think it was a bit outdated. There were some good roasts, especially about some bondage club scandal, and he went after both sides of the DC establishment, which I appreciated. Now we get to the latest edition, Colin Jost. I liked a lot of it. He's very witty and charming, but damn, it felt cozy with the administration. He went after Biden for his age and approval ratings, but had nothing on the economy. Seriously? It's so easy. Biden keeps insisting the economy is great, despite low satisfaction. Good strategy, Mr. President. People love being told they're wrong. On that note, this season of SNL is the greatest there's ever been. How do you not even mention the war? Or the other war? It was basically the opposite of Colbert. Again, more on that later. He ended the set by lauding Biden for his decency. I'm sorry, that just does not capture the mood of the country right now. Next is Jay Leno 2004. Leno always has sharp political observations that go after both sides. And I think this one was funnier than 2010. He had several good jokes and cutaway gags, but some of them missed the mark. Number 13, Roy Wood Jr. There were some good roasts in this one, and it had an underlying theme: scandal and hypocrisy. He had a wild NFT joke that went viral online. Overall, though, I'd say it was like medium clever. He ended on a serious note talking about the struggles of local journalism, which was a good touch. Conan is still my favorite late night host, so it bummed me out that I didn't love his set. It was funny and had good delivery, but it was mostly formulaic and pretty harmless. He did have a good dig at Mitt Romney that I liked. It's also funny remembering how much of a joke we all thought Joe Biden was back when he was VP. Right in the middle is Daryl Hammond in 2001. This was like Rich Little with modern humor. He's a really good impressionist, but also said some wild shit. Parts of it were just hilarious, like his impressions of Clinton and Al Gore. It ran a little long though, and he didn't really have anything on the president, so 11 seems fair. At 10, Stephen Colbert. We all know Colbert as a satirist of conservatives, but I guess the organizers of the event didn't, unless they wanted to royally piss off the Bush administration. Staffers literally walked out of the room during this performance. It was that brutal. He mocked the NSA, the president's intelligence, his approval ratings, and had that legendary line,
"And reality has a well-known liberal bias."
It ended with a sketch that was awkward and way too long. There weren't a lot of big laughs, but the satire really makes it stand out. 9. Drew Carey, 2002. This was a funny set with a lot of good jokes, not all of them political, but when he did go after Bush and Cheney, it was really good. This was the first year after 9/11, so they probably didn't want to have something super controversial, and it wasn't, but it was still funny. I think Seth Meyers created the playbook for the modern Correspondents Dinner speech. This is when things started to become formulaic. It was actually harsher than I'm used to with Seth. He took a lot of shots at Obama and the Democrats, cable news, and Trump's presidential ambitions. Actually, the 12-minute mark may just be the origin story of Trump 2016.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Next is Jay Leno 2000. This one was a treat. A lot of the humor holds up despite being the oldest on this list. The cutaway gags were fantastic, especially the Al Gore action figure one. This is the only Clinton dinner I watched, and he mostly escaped scrutiny aside from one sly reference to the sex scandal. There was another joke about Trump's presidential ambitions which totally caught me off guard. I recommend giving this one a watch, it was fun. Number 6, Trevor Noah 2022. I'll be honest, I expected him to go easy on Biden. He did not, and I'm very glad. It had all the roasts you could ask for on both sides. Jeffrey Toobin got a reference. He actually joked about inflation and the White House's relationship with MSNBC. The jokes were very smart. A lot weren't hilarious, but they were enough to make you say, okay, I see what you did there. He ended with a nice message about the power of journalism, and then slipped in one more quick roast about Afghanistan. Number 5, Michelle Wolf 2018. This is the set that was notoriously too much for Donald Trump. It was brutal. She blew past the typical C-SPAN and Hilton roasts and went straight for the jugular. It was raunchier than most of these, and her delivery just made it funnier. Maybe she could have balanced her roasts a little more on both sides, at least for her credibility. But she made a fantastic point about how the media hates Trump while having helped create him because he's good for ratings. At 4 is Wanda Sykes. For me, this may be the funniest set. Her delivery is so real and likable. I can't put it higher because it's lacking in roasts, but that's probably because it was the first year of Obama's presidency and there wasn't much to judge yet. She did take a jab at his handling of the financial crisis, all those banker bonuses, and she had an absolutely ruthless Rush Limbaugh 9/11 joke. Number 3, Jimmy Kimmel, 2012. Top to bottom, Kimmel did a fantastic job skewering the president and the media. He went after Obama for his appearance, his struggles with Congress, and more. Republicans also got their licks, especially Chris Christie, who's a regular target at these dinners, a rather large target. It was clever, funny, and delivered smoothly, definitely deserving of the bronze medal. In second place, I have Cecily Strong from 2015. Cecily Strong was probably my favorite SNL cast member during the 2010s, and I think she knocked it out of the park with this. She covered so much ground in 22 minutes, it's kind of insane. And her delivery was amazing. So many good punchlines. The Secret Service joke was crazy. I will say though, the Hillary hubris was very real. And now, my favorite White House Correspondents Dinner, Hasan Minhaj in 2017. Hasan was not really a household name when he was asked to do this dinner, but I'm so glad he got the call because this was the perfect showcase of what he's great at. His delivery is so well-rounded, with good timing and facial expressions. He looked like he'd been telling these jokes for years. Also, his roasts were funny, but biting. Trump did not attend any of the dinners during his presidency, but Hasan still managed to make the event a spectacle. Maybe what I appreciated the most was his ability to accurately represent the moment in history. These dinners are such a testament to the First Amendment freedom of speech. For a comedian to be able to get on stage in front of the president and roast the shit out of them is part of what makes this country special. I don't know who's going to be president in 2024, but I do hope that whoever it is, we remember the importance of holding powerful people to account. Alright, that's my list. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It was very fun to make, especially to look back in history at how comedy has evolved. My channel is all about stand-up, so please like and subscribe for more content like this. Okay, bye.